Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Jalen Says. And today we are with someone who is a pretty cool person. They are a singer, they are a dancer, they are a director, they are a writer, they do a lot. Okay, she is a very cool person. She is a very wonderful person. But before we get into the juiciness of this interview, we have to thank our wonderful sponsors. First off, it's on time sunwear. Sunwear that's always on time when you need it. Incredible sunwear. They got styles for the summer, spring, fall, winter, casual, non-casual, business, funky, funny. You think it, they got it. So if you guys want some fantastic sunwear, please make sure to check out On Time Sunwear. Also, we have the Mitchell's Academy of Music and Dance. Now, these people are incredible. They know what they do. They know what they're doing. They've been in the music industry. They've worked with countless people, countless names, and it's really incredible. So when you're training with them, you know that they feel the music. They just don't play it. They feel it. And I could already see my improvement from working with them. So if you guys have a passion for music, please check out the Mitchell's Academy of Music and Dance. Now, tropical flavor. How many times do I have to tell you? This food is juicy, it's crispy, it's delicious, it's wonderful, and it's huge. Like, I'm telling you, like, the market fish was as big as the table. And the table wasn't small either. It was like, wow, that table was like it was like a 3-foot fish long. And it was good, it was crispy, it was delicious. So if you guys do want some food that's not only quality and quantity, please check out Tropical Flavor for the taste of the islands. Also, Air's Talent Agency, if you are doing your thing in the industry, and you need an agent, please audition for them because they are doing incredible stuff. They are a pretty good agency. They've gotten me so many auditions. So if you guys are looking for an agent and you are in the industry, please check out Air's Talent Agency. Now we have Flame Entertainment. And we've done stuff for each other, and it's pretty incredible. She's done so much for me, and she not even managing me, and she got me a couple interviews. So if you guys do want someone who has been in the music industry and knows the ins and outs, please check out Flame Entertainment. And if you guys do remember, a little bit ago, I actually interviewed Miss Flame Entertainment. So yeah, you can check that out after this interview. But yeah, she knows what's going on in the industry with music, and she is incredible, fantastic. So if you do need a manager and you are in that industry, please check her out. Now, with all the sponsors done, we have to talk about who our interview is. She is from Pittsburgh. She is a dancer. She's an actor. She is a writer. She's a singer. She does a lot of stuff, and she's fantastic at what she does. You could tell when she does it. She has a life to her when she does it, and it's pretty incredible seeing it all work out on stage as well, and being on stage working out. So we'll talk about that soon. And yeah, she's just an incredible person, and she does a lot of stuff and really is just a huge inspiration. So to, I guess, talk about her life even further, here's Miss N.A. Stubbs. How are you doing today?
Hey, Jalen. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for coming on.
You make me sound real busy.
I mean, I guess it's a lot to look at when you step back and see all you've done.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot,
Yeah.
but it's a good.
So before we get into the interview, can you, I guess, say who is N.A. Stubbs?
You keep calling me N.A. Stubbs. It's Nay Stubbs, and
N.A.
probably
Stubbs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
only because you call me Miss Nay on
I'm
stage.
sorry.
It's fine. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, I am born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I guess the short of it is that I'm just a creative that wants to create impactful material, that wants to change lives for the better around the world. That sums me up pretty much in a nutshell.
Okay. So you're from Pittsburgh, and you now have this incredible career. So to get this started off, what kind of brought you into music and dance?
I actually come from a family. First off, I come from church, and
Mm,
so there's probably not many people in my family who don't sing or they're not musically inclined. I have some visual artists, some that can draw. So we're quite creative, familial wise. And just growing up with my dad is a bishop, and him being so liberal with allowing me to create in singing or even writing music for the ministry or putting me over the creative arts at a very young age. And so I learned to be able to direct. I didn't always get it right. So I had to learn it, of course. But I was giving a playing field to do so, which I'm very grateful. And so just being able to grow musically, um, choreographing, writing, directing, that's pretty much where I got my start. Then I got a taste of what a lot of people call fame. Kappa, it's a creative and performing arts school. Once I got a taste of that, I felt my liberation, my freedom in what I do grow even stronger. And so
yeah.
from there, I just started to develop what I thought was my own and come into my own. So that
Wow.
was pretty much my start.
So was, I guess, the entertainment life what you really thought was going to be your career when you grew up?
I didn't know. Okay, so I was on punishment a lot when I was a kid because I wasn't a bad kid per se, but I don't think many people would agree right now, but I had a pretty smart mouth. And so my mouth got me in trouble a lot.
Mm,
And so I was grounded a lot. And I would write probably like scenes, kind of act them out by myself. Like if you were in my room, you would think I was crazy, probably. But I would do those creative things. But realistically, I started going to college for computer science. I thought I was going to do, computer work. I was going to be in that industry. I only saw creating in the arts really as ministry because, most times in church, if we just want to be real with it, that's what it's seen as. It's just ministry, and it's not looked on as a career. It's just enhancing um, the ministry or enhancing a way to praise
yeah.
God or enhancing a way to move the church forward. But it's never really encouraged to be an endeavor, for you to make money or to make a life from it. So I never really saw it as such.
Okay. Wow. What pushed you to thinking that it's a viable option?
Well, um, I know it's my purpose for sure. And I just believe it's a bonus when you can make money or you can make a life from what you're put here on this earth to do, what God created you to do. Um, I would have to say just being unhappy in work. And surprisingly, on a job that I got hurt and I had to be off for a while.
Wow.
And I just kept feeling this strong urge to start my own performing arts company. And so being off during that time, I got an opportunity to develop and to go through the process of creating a company and creating what that was going to look like. And so it I don't want to say it was an accident, but it sort of kind of felt like it at the time because like what's the chances me getting hurt, during this time? I remember going through training with someone and she was actually a first lady and I kept telling her um I'm struggling here. I'm struggling training on this job because all I'm hearing is music. And I want to get up from this desk and go write it down. Or all I'm seeing
Yeah.
is something to write on stage. And I want to, get up from this desk and write it down. And she
Yeah.
did encourage me um, by way of just saying, you got to pray about it. You got to, start really, delving into it to see if that's where you should really be. And lo and behold, 3 weeks later. I get hurt and I can't go back to work. So
Wow.
it actually is how it all began.
Wow. Do you think that it was like some kind of underlying thing where you thought the job that you had back then wasn't meant for you?
Oh, I know the job that I was on at the time wasn't meant for me. It just so happened that I was moving out of um, telecommunications. That was
Mm,
big back then. And I just went to another job because it was higher pay and it was less stress. That was it. But I know it really wasn't purposeful for me. It wouldn't have fed me, further in what I know I was supposed to do. So it was temporary. It was definitely temporary for sure. It was a part of the journey. It was part of the transition. I accept it for what it was, but I never would have thought that I would have stayed at that particular job because it was in healthcare. I don't know anything about healthcare. So it was best for, yeah, me to leave from there.
okay, wow. So you jumped straight into really going back into what your roots were. And did that feel like, I guess, a breath of fresh air? And how did you kind of work it all together?
It did at first because, of course, I'm like, "Yes, I'm free. I'm doing what I wanna do. I'm doing what I love to do." But it came with a lot
Mhm.
of bumps and bruises because it was different. I was leaving a, weekly paycheck, to find the funds,
Yeah.
to do what I was doing. Plus, I was also still injured, and I was injured for a while. And so it wasn't like I can jump right into it physically. Um, so that was, pretty hard. And then it was new territory. I had never owned a business before. I had never only done the creative arts, as an adult. So it was different. It wasn't an easy transition at all.
Mm,
Again, first, sitting and with my leg propped up, it felt wonderful, but having to get out there and then you see the bills come in and that,
mhm.
so it really wasn't easy at all.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, when they see things with industry and stuff like that, especially as an adult,
Mhm.
it's a lot of passion at the beginning because there's not a lot of things backing you up when you're doing stuff like that. So, what kind
True.
of helped you get back on, I guess, not your feet, but help you become getting a more stable, I guess, lifestyle?
I would say honestly back then, and still to this day, I have such, even though I was grown then and I'm even growner now, I have such supportive parents that, when I needed, they were there. They've always believed in what I do and what I'm doing. And they will do whatever they have to do to not see me fail, whatever that definition is at the time. Um, Plus I developed a cast that nurtured what I was doing, the project that we were doing, we were actually touring. They nurtured it as if it was their own, because they came in from the beginning, and some of them are still with me now. And so that also helped us to, as you said, stay on our feet, because they believed in it so much and they went just as hard as I did and making it work and keeping it, working. So I had a number of supportive people around me to say, I believe this has been a long time coming. I believe in what you're doing. What do we need to do to help you do this?
So, after you went on tour, how did it feel to, I guess, travel with your passion?
Oh, of course, I rested in, oh, yeah, I can do this forever. Again, though, um, not to think that it was an easy thing because it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to tour. We didn't have a manager, so I was doing, all of the tour work, managing the tour as well as writing and directing and choreographing and whatever else came with that particular show. Um, I could do it. I would do it all over again though, because it was a learning place for sure for all of us that were doing it because it was the first time that a lot of us had toured. It
Yeah.
was the first time that we had been to some of the states and Um, some of the well, we did go out of the country um, before, so it was an extreme learning experience for us.
Did you have time to, I guess, stop and see the viewpoints and stuff like that when you were traveling?
That's a good question because me and another cast member were talking not too long ago, and he was saying, "Remember when we did this, and remember when we did that?" And I couldn't remember a lot of it because I'm on the different side of things, and I'm getting much better with that now, learning to, smell the roses while they're there, pay attention to all of the lights and the flare and the excitement, and not work. I don't want to say so hard because I'm always going to work hard, but taking a moment, amidst the
Yeah.
work and taking a breather to be able to see and enjoy it and be able to share in the memories as everybody is sitting around saying, "Remember this and remember that." Um, there were some things that I can definitely say. Um, that I remember and I loved about it, but I feel like I missed some of it. I missed some of the key points. I missed some of the things that I could have enhanced upon maybe because I was just a worker bee, just trying to make it happen for everybody, that was on tour with us. But I'm learning now. I'm seeing more and I'm able to love more because
Yeah.
I'm taking advantage of watching it and seeing it happen.
Okay. Okay. So after the tour, what was your next step?
Um, after the tour, so actually, we were touring right up through COVID. We toured a show called The No More Project for about 15 years. Yeah, and so the last stop we made was actually we took a smaller group to Liberia and we taught 400 students at a school. We taught them for a
Oh,
week, creative and performing arts, and they did a show afterwards. But at the same time, we were able to do, some life skill classes and some encouragement pieces for the males as well as for the females separately. So that was kind of like the end of the tour um, before COVID. So we kind of put that show to bed in
mhm.
order for UniQ Arts to be able to dive into a few other projects, well, quite a few other projects. And I think it was time, really. I think if COVID hadn't happened, I would still have been pushing it. And I think at this point, it would have gotten in the way of what I had on the plate to do, or I had even just on my mind and my heart to do. But I was just a little afraid to step out and doing
Mhm.
it because it was different from what I was used to. I got really comfortable in the show we had done for 15 years. Like, who wouldn't? Doing it for 15 years. Um,
So you saying COVID let you, I guess, take a step back and realize what you want to start doing again?
Absolutely. It opened up some doors surprisingly because theaters were closed during COVID. So it opened up some doors in other areas to be able to start creating in other areas that I had always desired to jump into, but I was kind of afraid to do it. But I had no other choice because if you can't create in a theater, now what are you going to do? So I
Mhm.
was able to, jump into some other artistic areas during that time.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So how are you, I guess, recouping and I guess figuring out your next step when in COVID?
I was doing a lot of writing, and making a lot of connections, you know, for where I wanted to go forward. Um, I was still having, surprisingly, we ended up turning the uh, the show that we were touring. We turned that into a film. I was able
Wow.
to, yeah, develop the screenplay for it, and we were still having rehearsals and everything online, so on Zoom. And so, what would have been 5 hours of rehearsal with maybe a break here and there? I mean, this cast was on the line with me for almost 8 hours.
Wow.
2 Saturdays out of the month. And so we were able to get out into the public again to start filming it. And it was a very aggressive film schedule. So, I mean, we were COVID instead of I know a lot of people said, it shut a lot of things down and, it suppressed a lot of their desires and
Yeah.
their dreams. But COVID was good to me. I mean, I never had it, um, but it was also good. I was fed a lot artistically, creatively, inspirationally. I was fed a lot, so we were able to able to still get a lot done during COVID.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you were writing, you were doing all these incredible things. And let's get back to really what you were doing while you're touring as well. Because I didn't really get into that. You were teaching kids and basically like, educating them about the craft. How did that, I guess, resonate with you? And why did you decide to start doing that?
Um, so I've always been one to I used to always say I can't stand kids. I hate kids. I don't want kids. Yada yada yada. As I was growing up or, as a teenager growing up. But I find them so much easier to develop. They're so much more pliable and so much more open to accept what you're trying to give them artistically. So I've always kind of done it, of course, in church, in doing it, and just even after I got out of school, just being able to, people would come and say, "Can you do a workshop at my church with our youth?" So I was always, developing them artistically, creatively through ministry. So it wasn't hard to do. Like it's always been with me. It wasn't the Africa trip um, that it started to resonate with me. It's always been with me to do it because in part it wasn't given to me in that way. So I've always in my growth as an artist, as a creative, I've always tried to be what I didn't get or what I didn't see in front of me. And so I definitely, of course, what better way to start than with a child so that they could, be exposed to their art and get in touch with their art and their creativity at a younger age so that they don't feel like a me as a young person. Like, I feel like I have so much in me, but I have no one to show me what to do with it.
Hmm.
So that's why it's a huge part for me.
So do you still work on helping kids right now?
I do actually. I actually work for a school system, and I do actually programming as well, artistic programming. Um, it'll always be a part of me. It'll always be a part of UniQ Arts to do so.
What
Um,
is artistic programming?
so the artistic programming that I do, it's actually STEAM oriented. STEAM standing for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math. And of course, the programs are always a little heavier in the arts department because um, that's what we do, UniQ Arts. But we partner with others to to be able to bring the other STEAM elements. So with this programming, we do delve into the science, technology, and engineering, as well as math. But we also artistically teach kids how to create beats. So they do music production. We teach dance. Um, we teach film. We teach illustration, black anime, of course, arts and crafts, and so on and so forth. So that's the type of programming. And we try to bring the programs to students or kids who may not be as fortunate as another in urban neighborhoods where they may not be exposed or may not even be able to afford certain classes. So we bring the program to them instead of them having to go out and search, for these particular programs.
How hard is it to do all that?
You know what? It's not hard at all. I mean, okay, let's go back. When I say it's not hard, I'm saying it's what I do. It's what I love to do. So it comes really easy for me to develop or do it. Um, it's work. So yeah, I think I could stick with that answer. It's not hard. It's just work, and I'm used to work, but it's what I love to do. So it's not hard for me. The most at most, if there be any difficulty, it's in scheduling, being able to do, the different projects that we're doing alongside of the programming that we're doing. But in developing it and executing it, facilitating the activities, it's not hard.
You have a really kind soul.
I tried.
Okay, wow.
I tried.
You try. Okay. So, what have you learned about the industry with the 15 years experience you had before COVID, and what else did you learn after COVID?
Well, I would have to say I've learned more after COVID because of the different areas that I ventured into. Before COVID, I think I really thought more on a ministry level. So I tried to stay within not necessarily within a certain box creatively, but I tried to stay, I guess, under a certain umbrella um, in delivering, certain items. And I think during COVID, again, that being one of my liberation periods, um, I feel like during COVID, I was able to, again, venture out into some of these areas. I'm learning that it is okay to be in my own lane.
Yeah.
I'm learning that it is okay to not look like or create like or be like anybody else in the industry. And I'm not saying, I don't parallel, some of the things that I do doesn't parallel, but I'm not looking to emulate anyone, in the industry. I'm learning that the industry can be a little cutthroat, a lot of cutthroat at times. Um, but I'm also learning that there are those who do want to see you win as well. And thankfully, I've been blessed to be surrounded by, you know, mostly surrounded by those types of people. I'm learning that in this industry, there are folks that actually want to see what I'm doing. They want to hear what I'm doing. They want to hear what I have to say. They're open to what I'm trying to bring to the table. So um, I'm going to say, for the most part, I'm learning the good of it, and I'm taking it and I'm running with it.
Someone said I want to see you win. So yeah, we do want to see you
Oh,
win, and it's incredible with all you're doing. And also, um, God Guys, which is something that happening recently, and it's something that I was a part of in the first two, and I really thank you for the opportunity to be in God Guys. It was incredible. And
mhm.
can you tell us the, I guess, inspiration behind it? Because I know you are not the creator, but you are the writer, and you, I guess, help bring the dream to action.
Mhm.
So, what was the inspiration behind it?
So first and foremost, the person that said I want to see you win, he is the current Pops, Kevin Brown. That's who just chimed in and said I want to see you win. And I love him for it because he doesn't just say it. I promise you. He celebrates me in public, in private, the whole nine. Thanks, Pops. Um, but God Guys came from C. Nathaniel Brown. Um, he wanted to develop a project to do with his true God guys in real life, with them all being creatives. And so he asked me to jump on and write for it. And I did so, and I was able to, or fortunate enough to be able to direct as well and co-produce with him. So the inspiration, behind it was, first and foremost, doing it with his brothers, who he called the God Guys. Shout out to Tobias Armand and Kevin Savage and Jeffrey Wright, um, who we lost uh, shortly after we did the show. Troy Bland as well, and C. Nathaniel Brown was also in the show at the time. And he wanted to be able to unpack some things with men, but encourage them, not only encourage them to do so, but encourage them while doing so and show them the hope and the healing behind doing it and that it was actually possible. So, and that's probably the short of it. He probably would have so much more to say in the why. But that was, pretty much in a nutshell, the inspiration behind it. The tagline being Black men owning permission to feel and heal. That's the inspiration for sure.
How do you feel when you're able to see all these people who are reacting to this message, all the men and even all the women?
Oh, it's an amazing feeling. It's an accomplished feeling because it's my goal in everything that I do. Um, that there is conversation being had. There's a light bulb going off. There's confirmation and affirmations happening just from what they're seeing, what they're getting from the message. So it's an amazing feeling to be able to see that they're actually getting it. That's always a concern of mine as a creative. Like in whatever I'm doing, I'm saying I hope the audience gets it the way that I want them to get it. Um, and I believe that they're getting it. They're getting God guys for sure.
Now, also, you are working on God Sis, which is coming up soon. And what was the inspiration behind that one?
Um, to be honest, really seeing the effects that God Guys has had on the audience, um, why not give it to the sisters too? You know what I'm saying? Having a female version, it just made sense, to be able to do that and bring the female side to things, helping Black men heal, um, encouraging mental health and mental wellness for Black men. Why not do that for Black women as well?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. And all right, I know a lot of people who direct and act and do all this stuff, but I'm still kind of confused how you all do that stuff because by what I saw, when I'm looking at some scripts I'm like, this is a lot of work. So how do you kind of get it all figured out?
I'm a structure person. I have to have a system. I get a little robotic at times because I have to, in mostly everything that I do, I have to have a system. So it comes pretty easy to me to be able to do it because I see pretty much every project that I do as a machine and how each piece, works together and brings it together. Probably you would probably best relate it to like a transformer, bringing all of those, different cars or whatever together to create one, big transformer. And that's how I see a project. Um, I'm able to bring those pieces together as a director to create, one big project. That's the easiest way for me to explain it explain it to you. Just having the different pieces of a project and being able, to bring them together. And honestly believe too, you were saying all these things that I did in the beginning. God really blessed me um, t- to be multifaceted, to be multi-talented. So I'm able to apply those particular things. So, while I'm writing, I'm also directing in my head. And a lot of people will say, don't do that. You may not direct everything that you do, that you write, so don't write it for or don't direct it for them in your writing. But I'm able to do that simultaneously. I'm thinking as a director while I'm writing. I'm thinking as a producer while I'm writing. It's a help for me when I know that I'm going to direct it. So that's why it doesn't become as confusing for me because I'm able to apply those different areas to that particular project.
Because you already have the vision entirely planned out.
Surprisingly, yes. I mean, that's the best way to put it, and I can only thank God for that, for sure. That is not me, that is him all day.
So, okay. And how does producing fit with directing and writing?
So, I mean, the producing is kinda like the coverall, making sure everything comes together. The writer or the director is not making sure, that the tickets are sold or that the money is there, or that the whole crew, makes sense. So the producer is actually, bringing together the whole picture so that the writer and the director can do what they do.
Okay. Wow. Seems like a lot. Seems like a lot. But for you, I guess it's just a walk in the park for you, I guess. So,
I don't know
because you've
about a
been doing it
walk
for
in the park. Sometimes it feels like a bit of a crawl. Um, but I mean, I love to do it. So, and when you love to do something, you'll take the bumps and the bruises.
yeah.
You'll take the fatigue. You'll take the late nights up and the early morning rises. So I really, really love doing it. I'm not gonna say um it's always extremely easy or things don't come up to make you say, "Oh my goodness, I don't know if I don't know if this is the one, or if this is the last one." I'm not gonna say that. But in loving it, it does make the projects and the processes of the project easier.
So, but you are not only a writer, director, producer, you are also a dancer and a singer, which we did talk about a little bit earlier into the interview. But you still in practice now?
No, I'm not. I don't really I haven't even choreographed anything since COVID. Um, and I don't sing much anymore. I've recorded a few things during COVID, but I've just kind of been focusing on developing things for other dancers, developing things for other singers, for other actors. So I'm more on the development side, as opposed to the performance side anymore.
Okay.
I do
Now,
miss
someone
it.
did just comment it's a walk in Jurassic Park, which made me actually think of a question. How do you handle it when something surprising just interrupts the flow of your work?
You know what? I'm a plan B person already. Um, I'm already thinking of some things that can happen, and that's not to say that there aren't times I don't get flustered. I think it just depends on what it is, who it is, all that good stuff. But for the most part, and I get it from my mama, I'm a figure outer. I'm a fixer. I can get it together, or get it back together if I have to. And again, right now I'm surrounded by people who will help me figure it out. I can't always say that that was the case, when I first started, but I have a team that we've grown to just be such a strength in the arts. So when something does arise, I can make a few phone calls to say, this is what it is, this is what's happening. Um, can you help me fix it? If I can't do it, myself, can you help me fix this situation? So that's my go-to. I finally have some go-tos that I can make a call and make it happen, get it back on track.
So, how did you build up this network of people you could call?
I would have to say, I don't believe it was me. I believe it was God for sure. Um, because some of the people that I'm connected to, I, in and of my own self, I can't see that I would have been connected to them. Like I wouldn't have called or reached out or what have you. But for the most part, a good bit of them have been with me since I started really, really venturing out into the arts and doing things publicly. And they've stayed and they've told other people, hey, you need to come and get with this program, get with this production, this project. So it's been a good word of mouth draw as well, which is very fortunate. especially when you're from a small city. That's not always, the case. So I'd have to say, word of mouth and just maintaining relationship, keeping a close knit relationship and respectable relationships with people while you're creating. Because especially as artists, as creatives, we can be moody, we can be temperamental, we can be up one day and down one day, but we understand that, we respect that, and we maintain our relationship in knowing that. So, and we want to be together and we want to do this thing together, and we believe that we're meant to do it together. So it's not just me keeping us together or drawing others. It's the team for sure.
Okay. So with now you have your team, now you have a lot of stuff. Going into where you are now, what is your next steps for your career?
Well, Jalen. Well, of course, I'm still writing. I'm still looking to see what the next steps are going to be for some of the scripts that I've already written. I wrote a lot during COVID. So I have stuff sitting and waiting. So just figuring out the best way to develop these pieces, figuring out the best way to fund these pieces, figuring out the best way to put these pieces out there, and choosing the right people to do it, the team helping to choose the right people to do it. My next steps is hopefully to retire from my 9 to 5, and be able to do this on a full time. I feel like I'm already doing it on a full time basis. So to be able to do nothing but this on a full time basis, to do film, to do theater, and continue to do arts programming, and continue to encourage others to, do the same, jump out there and get it done.
Incredible. Now, also, I do know that you are working on some upcoming projects and movies and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And first off, how different is it working with plays and theater than to movies, especially in your area of expertise?
It's quite different. Um, it's quite different. The biggest difference I would have to say is, you get one time to do what it is that you're going to do. You get one time to show your brilliance on stage. Once the audience is there, there's no cut, you know, to hide behind as far as the camera is concerned. I believe it comes with a different authenticity on stage. It comes with a different feel. It's a in the moment now feeling, when you're with the audience, whereas, film, you get to fix it. You get to do it again. You get to do it over. You get to do it better, if you have to. So that I'm not going to say one is better than the other. I do have my favorites, but I'm not going to say one is better than the other. But they are different. So I believe if you've never done it, if you're a film actor and you've never done theater, there's some things to learn, in order to do it and to do it well, and vice versa. If you are in theater and you've never done film, I believe there are some things to learn for you to do it well as well.
Well, how do you feel as the difference is between a film director and a theater director? Because for theater, as soon as the actors are on stage, you can't be like, move over there, move over there. It's live. They have to know their cues and stuff like that. So is it more nerve wracking or?
I would say, so in my experience, theater theater directors for me, are more hands-on developmentally. You know what I'm saying? There's just something about, theater is just, and I'm hoping no film actors are offended by this, but theater is just big. It's loud, it's bigger. And you don't have, a cutaway for, looking at something else. You are what they're looking at, on stage. So you have to be everything. You have to give it all on stage. So directing that, versus directing film, that's one of the biggest differences for me, because you can't hide. Sometimes for me, the camera hides some things, from the audience with an actor. But on stage, there's nothing to hide behind. You got to bring it. You got to bring the
Yeah,
emotion. You got to bring the authenticity. And again, like said, you don't get another opportunity. So a director having to tell them that and having to move them in that direction and keep it there, for me, it's a bit harder. It's a bit more involved theater wise. That's been my experience anyway.
okay. Now, also, when we talked earlier, you did say that you are going to Liberia or something.
Yeah, we are going back to Liberia. Um, Prayerfully still in 2024. We were looking to go in 2023, but there were just so many projects that we were doing already that it just didn't fit in the schedule. But they are really, really looking forward to us coming back. And surprisingly, so we went in 2018. The graduating classes since then, they want to come back and give back from what they learned from us while we were there. And some of them have gone into film there,
Wow,
from their experiences with us. They really held on to what we left there, with them. They keep in touch with me. They've sent, their accomplishments, some of their films that they've done. Some of them are dancing now. So we're definitely looking forward to going back in this coming, what is this, 22? Yep. In 2024, in order to impact, the newer students that are there as well. And definitely looking forward to the graduating students coming back to be able to say, hey, I'm a product, of the time that they were here. It's going to be a blast for sure.
definitely. Wow. But now you just see your babies just growing up and doing their thing.
Yep, absolutely.
That's okay. Now, a lot of people are saying they want 2024 to be over already because of how many things are happening in 2025. Because Grand Theft Auto coming out, a lot of movies are coming out because the strike is over,
Mhm.
2025. So, what are your plans to make 2024 memorable?
Oh my goodness. Um, to follow through with all of the projects that I plan to do. I'm not cutting any corners. I'm gonna make it big as it, should be. Um, I'm gonna make it count. I'm gonna make sure that it makes a huge impact. And what I'm looking forward to most is not doing it by myself, but bringing those with me that have earned it, that deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Wherever
Yeah,
our people say I've arrived, wherever our arrival will be, and however our arrival will be defined in 2024, I want to make sure that, the whole team, everybody that has earned it, receives the fruits of their labor in 2024 because we've worked hard in 2023. So definitely 2024, it's going to be the year. Dot,
all
dot,
right,
dot.
all right, all right. Now, who is your inspiration to keep going and to, I guess, just continue what you're doing?
My inspiration. I would have to say, my inspiration is my mom. She's not a performing creative. She, does crafting and things of that nature. But to see her withstand, anything thrown at her, just getting through life, as you guys say, lifing, but still being able to go forward, like, coming out of the house like nothing in life is happening, just looking strong, looking fabulous because my mama's dope. Um, but just being that pillar for so many people, and continuing to go on no matter what. That that's my inspiration. My mom, no matter what, making it happen, figuring it out. That's our thing. We always say to each other, "Okay, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out." She is my definitely my inspiration.
That's incredible. Now we talked about your directing, we talked about your producing, and we talked about all of your career. And yes, mom is the dopest. Moms are always the dopest. But now I want to talk about, what do you do when you have the spare time to relax with all the things that you do?
Um, I love to shoot pool. Yes, I like to grab my stick and just, go shoot pool. But for the most part, um, I like to still just if I'm sitting back, I'm still writing. Um, that's kind of like my pastime, just writing, be it something for myself, journaling, or something that I'm looking to do, be it music, be it another screenplay, a stage play. That's really my pastime. Um, I don't really get out. I'm not a crowd type person. So every now and again I'll catch, a movie, or I'll catch a theater piece. But for the most part, I've become a homebody. So if I'm not shooting pool, I'm in the house writing.
Now I do know you go out, especially before COVID, you went out and traveled the world. Do you ever think of just traveling for yourself?
I've I'm starting to get there. I'm not a fan of planes. And having to do it more, I flew a lot for God guys. Um, my family frequents St. Martin. And so I've been trying to do more of that. That might become one of my pastimes, Jalen. Thank you for the encouragement. That might become one of my pastimes, traveling more, because there is a lot that I want to see. And there are quite a few places that I want to create in as well. So yeah, that's on the list. It's officially on the list as of tonight. Thank you.
All right, all right. Okay. Now, I haven't asked this question in a while, but if you could have any food, what would it be? Any food, like just any food, any dish served to the perfect condition.
I'm not a foodie. I'm so picky. Um, but my favorite food is cheese. I know that's weird. But I don't have like a favorite dish per se.
Okay.
But I'm a cheese person. I haven't met a cheese that I didn't like. So I'm gonna go. I mean, you can give me. I know it's not good for your system and all, but I'm gonna go with cheese. Any type of cheese. You can give me a cheese platter, and I'll be in heaven.
Okay. Now, let's say you had 24 hours to do whatever you wanted to do. No time limit. Well, not yeah, time limit, but nothing on the plate. Absolutely nothing on the plate. You could be wherever you want. Where would it be, and what would you be doing?
One of my favorite places is St. Martin, as I mentioned. My family goes to, and I know most would be like, "Oh, I want to go see Paris. I want to go, to England, somewhere I've never been." I would go right back to St. Martin. It's like my second home. And it feeds me in so many ways. Yeah, I would start looking for my home there, my house there. If I had 24 hours and nothing else to do, yes, that would be it.
Okay. So I didn't talk about this earlier, but
Mhm.
talking about all these places and stuff, what made you want to come down to Georgia?
Um, I never wanted to come down to Georgia per se. I came down because Chuck Brown asked me to, do this particular production, God Guys, and so that's why I was there. There are parts of it that I have grown to love, um, and grown to frequent, because there are parts there, as I've said about a few other places, that have fed me artistically. Um, but it's never been one of those places where, I hear a lot of people, even from where I'm from, saying, I'm moving to Atlanta, the Black Hollywood, and, you know, um, where blacks can be black. I've heard that. So I've never been one to say, oh, I can't wait to go, or I want to see. Um, but it's become one of those places where I can see myself doing some things there. But I came down literally because Chuck Brown asked me to do the production that we're doing together.
Oh, you did say that Georgia kind of fed a lot of stuff with your connections writing and stuff like that. Do you find places that, I guess, feed you inspiration?
Yes, I had an opportunity to take my dance team to Italy, and there, it was a different type of feeding. I think it was just because they don't experience a lot of what we experience, and so they accept the art as art, whatever it is. They're just so appreciative of creativity, period. And that was very inspirational for me to just be accepted in that way. The same with Liberia, going there. Although we learned just as much as we taught there, we learned a lot from them. It was just another place of inspiration where people accepted, what you brought to them. They respected the creativity. Um, Even when I go to St. Martin, um, just loving creativity there. Those have been places that have definitely inspired me.
That's a lot. So, wow. All right. You are a singer, you're a dancer, you're a producer, you are a director, you help children, you are a my gosh, you
You make me
Miss
sound really
May,
good, Jalen.
you do a lot, and it's wonderful to look at and see. And
Thank
really, you, if you aren't an inspiration to basically 100% of the people that talk to you, you're probably an inspiration to 99.9.
I hope
And
so. That's the goal. I do hope so.
well, sadly, our time has basically come to an end. But before we get off, I have to ask you, do you have any inspirational quote or anything that you'd like to say to the audience about anything with their dreams?
I would just encourage them to not let anybody stop you from dreaming, not let anybody stop you from pursuing your dreams, and not to let anybody try to make you be anything other than who you are. Flex your greatness, flex your brilliance, flex every ability that you have because we definitely need it.
Okay. Now, we talked about God, guys. We talked about God Sis that's coming up very soon. So we have to find out, where can we learn more about it? Where can we follow you to hear more? And where can we see your upcoming plays, events, and stuff of the matter?
So you can actually go to, every now and again, we'll put things up from the UniQ side on our website, which is UniQ, UNIQU dash NMP.org. Also, of course, my Facebook page, Nay Lewis Stubbs, and Instagram, Creative Arts, CRENATIVEARTS. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing your story. And thank you
Thank you for
for
having me.
really helping God Guys become a reality. And it's something huge. And I can't wait for God Sis.
Me neither. Thank you, Jalen. I appreciate being here.
Yes, thank you. And we will contact you after the interview.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. And thank you to the wonderful audience out there watching. And hey, I guess this is Merry Christmas, even though it's 3 days past. I hope you all had a great Christmas. I sure did. It's really fun. It's almost the end of the year, which is something. We've had a lot go on in this year alone, and then the past year, and there's just a lot of cool stuff. Can't wait for the next year. And wow, the next Thursday is after this year. So I guess, hey, happy new year early. Thank you all. I hope you have a great new year. And also, before we get off again, sponsors, On Time Sunwear. Best sunwear, the sunwear that's always on time. It's for casual, business, fun, funky, you name it, they got it. They are incredible. They've been real huge supporters of Jalen Says, and they have some fantastic sunwear. And hey, I got one pair and it already fits with everything I got. I don't know. I have 2 pair and it fits with everything I got. 4 pair probably would fit with you, your friends, your family, all of that. So if you guys do you want some incredible on-time sunwear, please check out On Time Sunwear. Also, the Mitchell's Academy of Music and Dance. Now, I've been with the Mitchells for a couple years now, and I've already seen my growth. And they know what they're doing. As I said before, they know what they're doing. They're feeling the music. They know the music, and they've been a part of a lot of very popular names in the music industry. And it's something. When you're in there, you just feel the vibe, and it's incredible. So if you have a passion for music and dance, please check out the Mitchell's Academy of Music and Dance. Now we have tropical flavor. Now I keep talking about the fish, how it's the size of the table, 3 feet long, but they have these habanero wings, and they're sweet, they're crispy, they're spicy, they're just everything really need in a wing. It's crazy. It's basically finger food, but it's filling. And if I could get some right now, I'd hop up from this desk and get some. So if you guys want some good tropical flavor, please check out Tropical Flavor for a true taste of the islands. Now we have Aries Talent Agency. This is my agent, and they have gotten me a lot of auditions. And if you are in the industry and you are doing your thing in the industry and you need an agent, please audition for them, because they are an incredible agency. They got me a lot of stuff. Can't wait for all the auditions, because again, the strike is over. Yes, the strike is over. But if you guys are in the industry and you guys need an agent, please check out Aris Talent Agency. Now, Flame Entertainment. Flame Entertainment. I've interviewed Miss Flame herself and one of her clients, and she is incredible at what she does. Again, now that the interview is over, please check out the interview with me and Ashley All, because Miss Flame Entertainment, she knows what she's doing. If you need an incredible manager in the entertainment industry, she's been in the industry. She knows the ins and outs and all the above. She knows all about it. So if you guys do need a manager, please check out Flame Entertainment. Now, again, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It's been a great year. I thank you all for all the support. And yes, as well, haven't been really bringing this up a lot, but we do have Cane Corso puppies, a lot of cute Cane Corso puppies. So if you guys do want some Cane Corso puppies, please reach us out. They're adorable. There should be some pictures on the page. If not, just DM us. We could send you some pictures. We got a couple boys, a lot of girls, and they are cute. They're adorable. And my mom's like, "Don't know. I don't want to be around them, because I'll have to keep them all as soon as I just rub one of them." So they're pretty adorable. So if you guys do want some adorable Cane Corso puppies, please DM us, Facebook, should be under Cat Coles. But hey, thank you all so much for all the support, and thank you so much. I'm kind of getting worked up because it's Christmas and New Year's about to happen. So again, thank you all. Thank you all. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Thank you all. Thank you all. And hey, stay tuned. Peace.